Damn. Ooh, what is going on, you guys? First of all, I want to apologize on my end. I had gotten a sore throat the day of Spider-Man into the Spiderverse when that came out. So I was kind of on the excitement and yet on the other end of disarray because my throat was bothering me and it's still bothering me now. But hey, it doesn't matter. We gonna do this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this right off the bat with my very messed up voice. This is by far the best Spider-Man movie I've seen today. Period.
Wow.
Today. Period. Like period. Like this is by far the best Spider-Man movie I've seen. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because, for one, the way they did the story was fantastic. It was fantastic. Though like the characters, Miles' struggle, the whole deal with his uncle, like everything. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but like this movie did it. Like this movie honestly did it.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that. That I'm not sure if I am willing to go to that extent as to say it's the best Spider-Man movie made, but that's maybe because I'm a little bit biased towards the Sam Raimi films from the 2000s. So that could very well be it for me. But I can see how some people might feel it that way because that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie we have gotten. So yeah, I mean, I can see legitimate arguments for that, and I definitely agree that all the characters are great in this. Like, wow, because I saw this movie last week because there was an early screening just outside of where I live, or outside the town where I live, and I saw it again tonight, and I'm still amazed of how unbelievably good it is.
Right.
Absolutely, and I wholeheartedly agree with you about. I love the character of Miles. This is my first real introduction to Miles Morales outside the. Yeah, it's my first real introduction outside the PS4 game because I've only heard of him, but I've actually never read any of the Miles Morales comics.
Oh wow. Well.
Yeah, so my Spider-Man has always been Peter Parker, and most likely always will be. But after this, I want to read Miles Morales. I definitely want to pick up some of the traits with him. So I was definitely amazed by this. And I would probably say that this is probably the second best comic book movie of 2018. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of lost for words. So I don't really know what to say. The animation is fantastic in this.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, trust me, there is a lot of things I want to talk about when it comes to this. So
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I mean, we can might as well just get started with this. So, I mean, you can take it from listening to music on his headphones, and he is just sketching and all of that. Immediately I was like, I like this kid because it feels like a real kid when he's just listening to music on his headphones and doesn't really know the words like a normal kid would. So, I mean, already right there, and like I said, I really liked his father, I liked his uncle, I really liked his mother, despite the fact that they didn't have a lot of screen time, but yeah. It was really endearing.
All right,
Yeah. Okay.
now
Yeah. All
now we can
right.
go. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah. No problem. I mean, these things happens, right?
Right,
So
they always happen. But also,
yeah.
I want to point out, time was not on my side the day this movie came out because while I went to go see this movie, me and my friend actually got stopped by a police officer because we ended up going the wrong uh, way to get to this doggone movie theater.
Oh.
Yes, yes, and we had we had to like literally like sit there for a good 10 minutes, and then another 5 minutes to find parking. So I want you to know that we had caught the movie just when Miles and Gwen had met each other.
Oh. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you lost like the first like 5 minutes.
yeah. The
maybe
first like
10
five
of
minutes,
it.
5 minutes,
Oh. Right.
but fear
Yeah.
not, I will be watching it Wednesday. So
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, but that's, I mean, the beginning of the movie is, Miles. I mean, it really starts with, Peter Parker telling his origin story, like, for the NDS time, and, I mean, and then we get introduced to Miles, and when he's just, sketching, and his parents are, like, trying to basically knock on his bedroom door, like, "Hey, Miles, have you finished packing for school yet?" And he's like, and you see, like, his suitcase is just completely empty, and he's like, yeah, almost. Yeah. So he just begins to pack hurriedly, and he basically runs out, and his parents are basically like, "Come on, hurry, come on, let's go." And then Miles start walking down the street. um on the streets of Brooklyn, has this old school, essentially putting stickers up on different, things like, different signs and different parts of the street, and
right,
as he's about to, walk across, walk basically walk across the street, he trips on his shoelace, and a patrol car stops right in front of him, and guess who's driving it?
his
His
father.
dad. Yeah. And so he's like, "Oh man." And they basically begins to have this back and forth inside the car as they're driving down. And yeah, I mean, it's a very funny scene, because he really talks to him like a real dad would, and he then and he basically drops him off school, and he's like, "I love you, Miles," and he's like, "I know. See you Friday." And then you hear the police siren, "Woo!" And at the boulevard, "Miles, you gotta say it back. Are you serious?" "Yeah, come on, you gotta say, 'I love you, Dad.'" "Oh,
Right.
come on, Dad." "No, say I love you."
You gotta say I love you back. I'm just
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah, yeah, come on. This is his first day, and you gotta do your kid like that?
Also, I want to point out, I actually like his dad. I actually like his dad. Like
Yeah.
Miles' dad.
Yeah, he seems like a
I
cool
had
guy.
thought, yeah, like I thought they that they were gonna make him, that like super hard dad that was so about his job, and he tries to put it on his son and everything, but no, he's like an actual dad. He's hard on Miles, but he's doing it because he wants him to succeed, because he sees a spark in him.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, also when Miles shows up for his first day at school, he basically tells his dad, I don't even want to be here, because this school is elitist. Why can't I just go to school with all the normal kids? And he's like, hey, don't say that. You pass the test like everyone else would. So and so it really puts a really good emphasis exactly on a little bit on exactly where Miles comes from, because he is a kid from Brooklyn. So
Right.
yeah, So absolutely, and also it's also kind of a little bit of a funny bit with this that I did, like I said, I didn't don't know Miles Morales' origin, so I always just think he is essentially just the African American version of Spider-Man, but no, he's both half black and half Puerto Rican,
Right.
and it really shows when he actually talked to his mother that he talks to his mother in Spanish.
Right.
So that's a really cool thing. And but anyway, um, he after he basically says, I love you, Dad, and he's like, that's a copy. He walks in, and basically, and every kid already begins there to mock him over
I
it, like,
know,
I
right?
love you, Dad. So yeah, so that's actually really fun. So and then we get to the first scene that you mentioned, where he actually meets Gwen in the classroom.
Right. Now, when this happened, I didn't know that this Gwen Stacy was not the Gwen of this universe. I did not know that until it got to the scene where they explain why she's even here. But the thing that was so funny to me was when Miles started getting, his power started activating, and the thing about it was his hands and feet were sticking to every doggone thing possible.
Yeah.
And he had no control over anything. He was just trying to figure out himself. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I mean, do this, and like it. He winds up getting his hands stuck to Gwen's hair, like to the side of Gwen's hair, and she's like freaking out, and he's just like, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing, and everything, and
and it basically tries to excuse it, like, I'm sorry, that's puberty, and like, really.
Yeah. She can basically say that that's not puberty, man.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I think that was really funny, and then eventually, Gwen has to, because he went on stage, so had to get her, basically cut her hair, and
that still didn't get part of the hair off his hand though.
Yeah, and he basically, and then he runs into the security guard at his school, and he's like, I know you were outside of school, Miles or Morales, and he's like, because he started, getting this really loud version of his voice in his head, and he's like, just play it dumb. Who's Morales? Not that dumb. Yeah. And basically tries to play and lock himself inside the office of the security guard, and and then he just starts making a mess of the office and tumbles outside on the wall, and
that was
and basically starts walking past other classroom windows, and all of a sudden make his way back to his own room somehow.
He had a big problem with sticking and non-sticking.
Yeah,
he was just freaking out.
He's like, please stop sticking. And of course, I mean, he was reading Spider-Man comics, and we see the panels from Peter Parker's own origin story, and he's like, wait, so this is how is it possible for it to be two Spider-Man in this universe?
Right, which was very doggone confusing, because here we are looking into like one Spider universe, and yet there's a comic made of him going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Spider-Man # Peter Parker going to the same thing, knowing that there is a Peter Parker in this universe.
Yeah, so it's kind of zany, but it's a little bit meta, but it kind of also at the same time kind of makes sense, considering the fact that the people that made this are the same people that made the Lego movie.
Right.
So it definitely makes sense how they basically put in so many different, references and callbacks to basically everything Spider-Man related in terms of Spider-Man related medium. So yeah, that's actually kind of cool. And also I really like the scene, the fact that when we meet um, Miles' Uncle Aaron, who I mean, I think yeah, you kind of get the feeling like this guy is not really all that much, but at the
Right.
same time, I mean, at the same time, he is kind of fun. So I mean, so there is this kind of sympathetic side to him because Miles absolutely adores him.
Yeah,
So
he thought the world of him.
yeah, absolutely, and and I think it also is because there is this sense of artistic expression between the two. Like when they go and basically goes underground and starts graffitiing everywhere. So yeah, so they, yeah, so that's kind of a nice touch there.
Right.
Uh, yeah,
Also, let's just jump into the part
yeah,
where he finds the Peter Parker in his universe.
yeah, right.
So
When Peter is fighting the Green Goblin, you mean?
right,
Yeah,
the big mutated Green Goblin.
yeah,
So
and
Miles goes down into I want to say like the sewer, like the sewer grounds of New York.
right,
Um, at first he tries to find I guess the spider that bit him
right,
essentially,
because he think it's just a normal spider. It's just a normal spider,
and
and
then
then
it just vanishes. It
yeah,
goes
eh,
invisible and whatnot.
yeah, and that's when his spider sense essentially triggers and is like, look out, look out,
Right.
and he then sees Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin inside some kind of tunnel,
Right.
and he basically pulls out his phone and start recording, and eventually he gets kind of, no pun intended, caught into this, and Peter's like, you're like me.
Right. But how?
So
I thought I was the only
yeah,
one.
yeah. So it's like, let me just take care of the Green Goblin, and then maybe I can show you the ropes. So he continues to fight Goblin, and this tunnel, this mechanical thing gets turned on by the Kingpin,
Yeah,
and
it's this machine that I forget what they had called it, but it's this big machine.
I think it was called a collider or something like
Yeah, the
that.
collider.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he made this big machine called the collider, and
and
we
to try to
find out.
merge all to try to find his wife and daughter that he
Yeah,
apparently lost,
they
and
apparently lost after fighting Spider-Man, and they had got hit in a car crash, in a car wreck. Um,
mm,
so he was desperately trying to do whatever he possibly could to get his family back. So while we find out about that, Peter Parker is trying to turn the thing off because he realizes that if this thing is activated, like all the universes are gonna be collided into one, and it's not gonna be good at all. So
yeah,
then, while that is happening, um, the collider is semi-destroyed. The reason why I say semi is because they didn't really succeed. And all the while that's happening, the Green Goblin, the mutated Green Goblin, is pushing Peter Parker into the beam of the collider, and it
right,
just everything just goes to shit. Everything just goes to haywire. Like a big explosion happens. Kingpin gets knocked off his ass. All subordinates get knocked off in the little facility that they were in. Everything comes
Yeah,
tumbling down, and then we see Peter Parker.
yeah, caught under the debris, and he's like gives and he gives Miles this uh
The
I don't know
goober.
what you call. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
He gives him that, and it's like, listen, you got to make sure that this collider thing never gets going again.
Right.
And 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 then I mean, Miles runs off and keeps his distance, and then Kingpin shows up and unmasks Peter and proceeds to basically be bludgeoned him to death.
Yeah. Basically, just kill him.
Yeah.
But and like the Peter was trying to tell him, like, you can do this, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna get your family back.
Yeah.
But
And then,
of course, Kingpin gets pissed and he just smashes the crap out of him. And then Miles runs. Miles runs away, and
he's being chased by someone called the Prowler.
yeah, the Prowler.
Yeah. And I mean, look, fortunately he gets away and he somehow makes it back to his own home, and runs it into both of his mom and dad, and is so
Terrified.
distraught. Yeah, he's so distraught that over seeing what's happened to Peter, and basically asks his mom and dad, look, can I stay here overnight? And I mean, like any parent would, is like, yeah, sure, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And even asks his dad, do you really hate Spider-Man? And then he gives probably the worst possible answer.
Right. It was like, well, yeah,
yeah,
of course I hate
kind
him.
of. He is after all a vigilante. His mom was like, dude, don't.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
But
Yeah.
and after that happens, the big news headlines happens. Like, officially, Spider-Man's dead and everything.
Yeah.
After all that, we find out that like, this was the Spider-Man that was the successful, like the Batman type of Spider-Man where he had everything.
Yeah.
Where like Mary Jane was his wife. He had a whole bunch of different suits that we find out later on. His Aunt May is still alive. What else?
And he was married to Mary Jane.
That's what I'm saying. He was married to Mary Jane, and I think he had like a business or something.
I mean, it said that he was a 26-year-old grad student and part-time photographer. So, yeah, so he was still technically, I don't know if he still was studying or had just finished studies. But yeah, and there's a big memorial service, and man, okay, because one of the things that follows in this that I did not expect, that almost that made me misty-eyed, was Stan Lee's cameo in this.
Oh yeah, and then we gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
So Stan Lee is in this little shop and he's giving out a little
Yeah, that he runs this sort of I guess you could say sort of like a Halloween shop where basically he sells a lot of Spider-Man merchandise, and yeah,
and like he's basically saying, like, to telling everybody, like, don't worry, it'll fit. It always fits. Sometime around, and then it pans over to no fit, no refunds.
Yeah, no return, no refunds.
No return, no refunds. I'm just like, oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
So and then we pan over to Miles wearing the costume that he bought, and he goes over to Spider-Man, Peter Parker's grave, like with a whole bunch of Spider-Man stuff and flowers and all the type of stuff all over his grave. I think it was partially snowing.
Yeah, it was partially snowing, but to backtrack that a little bit, because because they're standing in front of City Hall with all these different sorts of Spider-Man, and Mary Jane is essentially, more or less, is kind of giving a eulogy, more or less,
Right.
about Peter, and he's like, and Miles is like, I have a responsibility to do, and the guy next to him is like, I think that's a metaphor.
Right. I don't.
Yeah,
I've been talking about you.
I don't think she means you
I'm
literally.
just like, man, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody asked you to be,
Yeah.
that 1% that has to be real with everything. Like, the heck out of here.
Yeah. But Miles is like, okay, if I'm the new Spider-Man, I gotta try stuff out. So it's like, okay, let me try and jump from, like he read in the comics that, okay, I need to jump from the tallest building. So he walks all the way up to.
Oh no, that was funny. That was so funny. He at first he chose the tallest building to go up. So he is running upstairs. He's going upstairs and everything. Then when he finally gets to the top, he looks down and he's like,
nope, hell no. And then just tries the next. Okay, let's try the next one, which is a little bit shorter.
A little bit shorter. We can do this. This.
And he proceeds to jump, or actually not jump. He starts to get sort of a small head run, and he trips on his shoelace.
Right.
Can he ever tie it up? And he proceeds to trip on it and fall straight down.
Yeah, and we think that he broke his hip or whatnot, but when actually he broke the doggone goober.
Yeah, and that's when he visits Peter Parker's grave,
right.
And it's like I don't think I can do this, and
he's like, I want to do what you asked, like I really do, but I don't know if I'm up for it.
Yeah, and then some guy taps him on the shoulder like, "Hey, kiddo," and you see some sort of electrical current going through Miles' fingers and knocks the guy out.
Right out.
That was happening. Yeah, that tapped him on the shoulder, and you see a big piece of webbing attached to his chest, and he walks over to him and is like, "You look like Peter Parker," and it's Peter Parker, just very much older.
Yeah, very much older, a little fat, and his hair isn't blonde.
Yeah, it's brown, and he got a little bit gray temples on the side, and that's when we get the origin story going again. It's like, hi, my name is Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man for over 20 years, and I made some bad choices in my life. I got divorced from Mary Jane. I sleep on a futon, and he basically he messed up his life.
Yeah. This was the hobo Spider-Man that we were getting. I told my friend this, and he just cracked up. Like, okay, so this is the hobo Spider-Man. That we all know and love.
Yeah, like this is the guy we looked up to. He turned out like this. Oh man. Yeah, and in the middle of all this, that's when all of a sudden, I don't know where cops shows up.
Right, the cops show up. Miles freaking out, and he tries to pick him up and run or web swing. It goes so doggone wrong, and it's so damn funny.
Yeah, because the webbing eventually gets attached to one of the high rail trains.
Right.
So it just drags them along. And oh man, it's some of the best slapstick I've seen in a long time. You see them just being dragged through, cars, buses, bikes, guys on bicycles, pedestrians.
Peter's like, quit trying to kill me. Like, I'm not. I'm trying to save you. And I'm just like, well.
Can somebody stop this train? Oh, it's so freaking good.
Oh my
and
God.
Eventually it stops, and they ends up on the sidewalk. It's like, hey guys, can you just walk around us? Okay, thanks, New York.
Right. Thanks, New York. Thank you.
Yeah. And he ties him up
ties him
up to a punching bag. And
he's
like, who are you? Are you? And basically, eventually, kind of tells him that you are Peter from another dimension.
Right.
and he's like, okay, I need to stop the Kingpin from getting this collider thing going again, and because this is kind of like the deadbeat dad version of Spider-Man, he doesn't give a damn.
Right, like he doesn't give a doggone. He was like, I gotta get out of here. I don't care about what you gotta do.
I just gotta get back home and leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
So yeah, and he already begins to head out, and Miles is like, don't you? Where are you going? Remember, with great power comes, don't you finish that sentence.
Right, don't you finish that sentence. Don't you dare finish that sentence. I'm like, oh wow.
That's so rough one.
And then they just had this back and forth slander while walking on the doggone buildings.
Yeah.
Of course, Miles isn't very good, so he's not very loose with it. But Peter is just walking like it's a casual Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a walk in the park for him. So, and he tried to web sling away, but he begins to pixelate because he is from another dimension.
And that no doubt that was the thing that was really interesting. Like, even though he got warped into that universe,
yeah, he's not supposed to be there.
He's not supposed to be in there.
Yeah, so he is more or less dying.
Right.
So eventually Miles gets so frustrated that he basically begins to kneel and to squatting, and he's like, and Peter's like, "What are you doing?" And Miles is like,
"Making you feel guilty."
Yeah.
Is it working?
He's like, yeah, and he's like, no, it's not working. Oh God, fine. Yeah, just gave up. It's like, okay, let's try to figure this out together. And of course they both go to this burger shop, and this is when you realize, like, this is not the Peter Parker we actually want, but it's the one we unfortunately are stuck with.
Right, because like, first he's going ham on these burgers, like he's eating them up and whatnot. And then the waiter comes in with a bill, and he looks at the bill like, you have money,
Miles,
right?
You got this, right?
I'm not ready to a liquor right now. It's like, yo, come on, really? Like, why, Peter? Why are you like this?
And you realize that this is a kid, right?
Right. I was like, come on now. So then they decide to come up with a plan and find out exactly where they can get the information. So they go into the place where Fizz, where they know Fizz is going to stop at, which is this little science facility.
Yeah, outside of New York.
Right.
And so they go there, and Peter is like, okay, I'm gonna go in there, sneak in and get the information, and you can just stay here. And it kind of starts that way until Fisk shows up, and Miles is like, I gotta do something, and yeah, eventually he catches up with Peter, and as they're crawling through this ventilation shaft, and it's like, and then you see Fisk with this, I guess you can say, this scientist, this doctor lady, and
right.
And he's like, yeah, this is just standards of Spider-Man stuff. Yeah. And Fisk is gonna say, you have 24 hours. And
right. It's like I started cracking up. Like it's so goddamn convenient to him that he can just guess it on time. That is classic. That's the reason why I love this movie so much. It's because Peter knew what was going to happen before he even went in that motherfucker.
To him, it's like, been there, done that. So.
also, you want to the thing that was so doggone funny too, was that he had half his costume.
Yeah, that's true. He was wearing the traditional Spider-Man costume on top, but basically from the waist down, he had sweatpants. Right, that's true. Like, man, are you?
Gray sweatpants, no socks, just barefoot.
Yeah, Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, but yeah, that's my favorite part.
I
Yeah,
want you to know
but
I died laughing so much at that scene.
yeah, I was really chuckling. I mean, you're either constantly laughing through this, or you are getting emotional, and it's basically going one after the other, one after
Right.
the other. So yeah, it's fantastic, absolutely. And but yeah, basically the doctor and this leaves the office, and Peter's like, okay, I need to get on the computer, and then you see the words popping up on the screen like clackety clack clack clack. Yeah, yeah, and he's trying, and Miles is, stuck to this ceiling lamp, and it's like, I can't unstick. And then he cuts to the other side, and you see the inside of them just like, you see the light just
Right, the
flickering
light
like
just
crazy.
dangling and he's just jiggling with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Peter's like, calm down, you're gonna get us caught. What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing? I can't get stuck. And he's like, find a
Yeah,
way.
to
What do you
relax,
do with
just
your to
relax,
relax?
and then Miles begins to sing.
Right.
Yeah, like, oh,
I want you to know that these scenes in this particular part it had me dying laughing. It like
yeah,
I don't know what was worse. The part where I see this hobo Peter Parker suit up, but with half costume.
Yeah.
The part where he
yeah,
gets
basically, yeah,
this
you have,
doggone
yeah,
line, or
yeah,
that
you
part.
have this deadbeat version of Peter Parker with sweatpants with a little bit of a gut. You have an inexperienced kid who got the same powers, who is frustrated because he has just gotten them and don't have no idea how to control them. So yeah. Oh man, it's hilarious. It's good.
Like the whole thing was just it had me so happy. I was so satisfied watching this movie.
Yeah.
I was so doggone satisfied.
Yeah.
But
And then we discovered the fact that Miles also in fact can turn invisible.
yeah,
Like,
and
yeah,
then there's that.
Yeah, and he's called it. I think it was called like either fight or flight, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, but and then this scientist lady walks back into the office and it's like, Spider-Man, you here? And he's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then this part is funny. Like he tries to play all seductive and crap.
Yeah, and she doesn't pick up on it. She is just so technical in her thinking. Like, yeah, how is this possible? Yeah, and it's like, okay, so you have a little bit of a gut. I see. Must be from the dimension warping. And he was like, oh yeah, totally. I was much thinner.
And then it just goes from like 0 to 100 real quick, because then after he says that, she locks him in this chair. She tests him does all kinds of these tests.
Yeah, swabbing and all of that stuff, and then she basically says that she can't wait to watch him die.
I'm just like, oh shit.
And then it's like, what? And then she basically reveals that her name is Olivia Octavius.
And I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, this is the Doc. This is the lady version of Doc Ock.
Yeah, the lady version of Doc Ock, and oh my god, she is a force to be reckoned with. I'm not even gonna lie with you. She's strong as hell.
Yeah, and Peter's like, does people call you Doc Ock? And she's like, my friends call me Liv. My enemies call me Doc Ock.
Alrighty. Right, and so while all that's happening, Miles is trying to get into the damn computer. He can't do it like immediately, so he takes the whole doggone computer.
Yeah,
while he's
and
invisible.
He even took the freaking monitor. Like, what's that?
And he's trying to run out of there. He goes through the hallway, tries to run out, and Peter Parker breaks free. Doc Ock is chasing him and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, Miles' invisibility clicks off again, and he's visible again. So Doc Ock sees him, and Peter Parker, he tells Miles, we don't need the monitor. He throws
Yeah.
it out, and he gets knocked out by Doc Ock, and then he goes back up, and then Miles gets
Yeah, then the
bumps into Gwen, who apparently is undercover, semi works in that facility, trying to find answers and whatnot, and
And then they try to sort of head out the main entrance, and of course Peter says what he was going to do on the way out, which is grab a bagel.
right, grab a bagel.
And yeah, and then they're like Spider-Man, and he's like, yeah, I get that a lot. And then they all pull up weapons, and he start shooting at them. And the best part is that Miles basically grabs the bagel and throws it at one of the guys, and you can see, instead of seeing like in typical cartoon standard, you either see when somebody get hit by something, you see either boing or boing, but here it says bagel.
No, and the thing that was so funny is that one of the scientists, you would think they would say, stop that kid getting our information. No, he says he's stealing a bagel. Get him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's what you're concerned about.
That's what you're concerned about. A damn bagel.
Yeah. Oh man, and then they basically begins to have this great chase scene where Peter gives one of his web shooters to Miles, and
right.
he tries to to get control of it, but he's so inexperienced, he doesn't know how to do it, and he basically at the same time is trying to explain to him how you're supposed to use it, and he ends up falling to the ground. He's like, you need to swing, otherwise they'll catch you. And eventually he does it. Eventually the two of them gets the hang of it.
Right,
and
right. The thing that was so the thing that I loved was that even though this was the hobo Peter Parker, he still was experienced enough to show Miles exactly how to web swing the right way.
Yeah.
And very calmly, while they were holding the doggone computer together, he's like, hold, swing, release. Hold, swing, release. I'm just like, oh, I can take notes.
Yeah, this is really cool. So, and actually, I think it also helps them create this really genuine friendship together.
Right.
And like Peter at first was like, okay, I don't want nothing to do with this, and I just want to go back to my futon and just grab a slice. And now he's like, okay, I need to do something.
Right. I need to train this kid because this is bigger than just me now.
Yeah.
And while it is, because Doc Ock, the female Doc Ock, she finally catches up to them, tries to trap him, and then we see Spider-Gwen, # Ghost Spider, and that's what she's officially called for some reason. She kicks her right in the face, deals with her real quick, and then we see her just plop down and say, I'm Gwen Stacy. And I'm just like, oh, nice.
Yeah, because I kind of sort of knew it, because when she first met Miles, she tried to introduce herself as Wanda, or as Wanda. So but we kind of sort of innately knew that it was Gwen Stacy. So then she proceeds, to kind of rescue them,
and then she tells her origin story.
Yeah, of course, like in the future the Spider-Man that we are also going to meet down the line. So and then basically, but eventually they escape, and I forgot what's the scene.
It pans back over to Kingpin, and he's a little angry because they got away and everything. Female Doc Ock is trying to calm him down. Also, I want to point out something, and my friend noticed it too. they made they made the Kingpin look very triangular like.
Yeah, he really probably the one that is one of the things that I actually did not like about the Kingpin is how he's designed, because it looks like his head is in the middle of his chest. So yeah, he looks mutated. That's the thing that didn't work for me.
I want you to know, I understand it may not work for everybody, but it worked for me. Why?
Yeah.
Because the way he looks, I can see Kingpin looking exactly like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility for that. It is. So, yeah, but it basically say, Doc Ock and Kingpin is like, okay, we just gotta kill these couple of spiders, and then we're good to go.
Right.
And yeah, and it also, and then I think we cut to the fact that Peter, Gwen, and Miles goes to visit Aunt May.
Yep. And no, this was kind of freaky because for one, this Spider-Man, the hobo Spider-Man is not her
Not
nephew,
her Peter.
yeah, so to speak. The one she knows about is long gone and dead. But we did not expect her to just fully catch it out of nowhere, because when we see this scene, we would see what we thought we were gonna see, Aunt May break down and all that. No, it wasn't even that. She was shocked, but then she got it. It was like,
Yeah.
you're Peter Parker from another universe, and I'm just like, Aunt May, how did you catch on to something like that?
Yeah,
like,
I did not expect that either, and that was actually kind of refreshing that she is, because Aunt May normally has been kind of like just a sweet old lady.
Right.
I kind of look at her, but here she's like, yeah, I mean, she is a little bit more technical, and so that was actually really refreshing to see. And then she takes them to the woodshed, and it's basically kind of like,
oh yeah,
and it's kind of like the Peter's own version of the Batcave.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like this was the the Spider-Man that was trying to be Batman on every sense of the word.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And then we get introduced to 3 whole new spiders, like Penny Parker, which is the anime version with a mech suit, and of course you got my personal favorite, which is Noir Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man Noir,
who is voiced by none other than Nicolas Cage.
Which is very nice. I loved that.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was freaking amazing, and especially his dialogue. His dialogue just is straight up, almost like a comic from the 1930s. So it works beautifully in that setting.
It fits so well. It fits so well. They did him so perfect. That's how I pictured Spider-Man Noir or Noir Spider-Man to sound like.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, for the younger kids, you get Spider Pig or Peter
actually
Porker.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah,
Spider-Ham.
right.
But it didn't matter because I kind of it grew on me. Spider-Ham grew on me.
Yeah.
Also, known facts. Actually, 2 known facts. Spider-Ham does have his own comic. Before this movie even came out, he does have his own comic. And Aunt May, way back, like way back in the Disney, like in the comics.
Yeah.
She was the one that designed Peter's costume.
Ah, yes. I did not know that.
Yes. And the reason why I know that is because my grandmother told me that that's how the origin of Spider-Man came to be. And back and back in them days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I know what you said.
So it's not. It wasn't really surprising to me that that she would be savvy with Spider-Man and whatnot, considering the fact that the OG Aunt May was the one that made his doggone costume. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. But yeah, then Ghost Spider-Man just tries to just tumbling over Miles, like, can you do this? Can you do that?
I know they were just hammering. I'm just like, yo,
yeah,
chill.
they were just wailing on him, like, jeez, calm down.
Like, calm down. Like he just got his powers a week ago.
Yeah, and Peter's like, well, he can turn invisible, and Miles tries, and he's like, I can't do it on command.
He can't do it on command.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Peter, you're not helping.
Yeah, you're not helping the situation at all. Yeah, but eventually it just becomes too much for Miles. So
right, so Miles, like, triggering his feelings, he goes invisible and gets out of there and whatnot, and he goes back to his uncle's apartment to leave him a letter.
Yeah, that he basically telling his frustration is like, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Where are you? And and I don't know where the Prowler shows up. And that's when it gets revealed that the Prowler is Uncle Aaron.
Right. I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He going this way with this. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, my heart sank.
I'm just like, oh my god. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
But you know what? It wouldn't be a Spider-Man story if something fucked up didn't happen.
Yeah, it's always something that's kind of part of the origin story.
Like for any Spider-Man story, look, check any one of them. Something messed up has to go down in order for Spider-Man to be Spider-Man, for some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, either if it's Uncle Ben or Gwen Stacy,
right.
Or so it always something bad always has to happen, and basically Miles ends up fleeing, but the Prowler gets a whiff of him and begins to chase him.
Right.
And yeah. Unfortunately, Miles do get away.
He does get away, but not for long, because they do track him
back
to Aunt May's house, and then we see the female Doc Ock.
Yeah, and we see
very strange looking version of Scorpion.
Yeah, this is basically the Miles Morales version of Scorpion, which is more like a mutated version.
Right. And then Prowler also appears, and then we have this giant battle struggle for the Goober, because they realize that they have this thing that can stop the Collider. Yeah,
and just to kind of backtrack a little bit, I also think it's kind of cool that, actually kind of funny that Noir Spider-Man was trying to work out exactly what a Rubik's Cube is.
Right, he was so focused on this doggone cube. It's like,
what is this?
What is this? I can't get the purple. Why can't I get the purple?
Yeah, is this blue? Yeah, but they eventually have this big fight, and Aunt May is like, can you take this outside?
Right, and then it keeps on battling, and then she gets frustrated, and she takes a broom and knocks one of them out. Like I said, take it outside. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, wow. It's about to go down.
Right. Don't mess with Aunt May. Do not mess with Aunt May when you take her off.
Yeah. And they end up having this big fight, and Peter Parker's like, Miles, you need to get out of here.
Right. He's like, Miles, you gotta go. You gotta go.
And of course the Prowler basically gets a hold of Miles and begins to choke him, and it's like, don't do this. And he takes off his mask, and then
he realizes
that is his nephew.
Then he's like, oh my god. It was like, no.
No.
And like okay, well when I saw that scene, my heart sank. I'm just because he
Yeah, me
didn't
too.
know that was his nephew. So
Yeah,
when he pulled off that mask, he was like, oh no.
and then the Kingpin is on him basically in his air plug, and it's like, okay, you got him now, finish him. And because Uncle Aaron knows how much Miles looks up to him, and he's like,
Right.
I can't do this.
I can't do this, and then we just see him pull Miles' mask back down, and then we just see him just basically
Begins to,
staring at him, and all of a sudden, bam!
yeah, and yeah, and wow, and of course the Kingpin also tries to shoot at Miles. Miles once again gets away and ends up in an alley with Uncle Aaron, and he's basically laying there, and yeah, I mean I don't know if even I should say this, but I cried at this.
I almost did. I
yeah.
literally, if my throat wasn't bothering me, I would have cried.
Yeah, I did, and then Uncle Aaron basically dies in Miles's arms,
Right.
and that's when Miles's dad shows up to find his brother dead.
Okay, how messed up is that? You find out your uncle is like the person that's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot by his boss because he finds out that you're the person that he's been chasing, and then you literally watch him die. And while you watch him die, your father is pulling up, and he's about to find out that his brother is dead.
Yeah. And yeah, man, it's so messed up.
Like it's really messed up. That made me so pissed off at Kingpin. It's like,
yeah.
do you not realize what you just put Miles through? You trying to get your family back. You just tore up his family.
Yeah. Yeah, and his father then basically pulls up, what was it, a PB on the new Spider-Man, basically a warrant for his arrest.
Right, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then we pan to Miles going back to his room. He's frustrated and everything, and then like the rest
start tearing stuff up, and he throws his notebook out, and it comes back in, and you see all the different Spider-Man shows up there.
And tries to console him and everything, because because if anyone knows what he's going through, it's all of them.
Yeah. And they basically tell him, for me it was Uncle Ben, for me it was my best friend. Yeah. And they basically tries to tell him, we understand what you're going through. And we basically decided that Peter Parker is the one who's gonna stay behind, while all the others get sent back to their own dimensions.
Right. And and my Miles gets frustrated, like, no, it has to be me. And he and Peter's like, he trips him and tries like, oh yeah, well, try going invisible, or on command, or try doing your electric shocks on command. Try web swinging. You can't do any of those, so I have to do this.
Yeah, and basically webs him up in the chair. And and then basically they take off, and that's when Miles' dad basically comes over, and you hear him knocking on the door, and like, Miles, I can see your shadow in there. Can we talk?
Right, and of course he can't answer him because he's all webbed up and everything. Thanks to Peter.
Webbed up and gagged up, so he can't do anything. So and then his dad gives him this very endearing speech, like, almost in a way. He basically is talking about how him and his brother basically grew apart, and he doesn't want to see the same thing
happening to him and his son.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to drift apart too. So basically gives him this little speech, which I think is really good, and Miles is then basically is like, okay, I need to do something.
Right. Okay. You know what?
I need to take my own leap of faith.
Right.
Here.
It's
And
like you know what? Like he was like, "F this." So like he just immediately it focuses and gets full control of all his powers immediate.
yeah, and he okay, yeah, like I say, he creates this shockwave and frees himself and goes to Aunt May to get a Spider-Man costume.
Right.
And makes it his own, which is this really cool like black with basically the Spider-Man insignia all in red, which is I think is a really cool design. So
yeah, you know, it's very fitting for a kid in Brooklyn where he's an artist because he likes to spray paint, so he literally spray painted his own logo.
yeah, and I really like that.
Right.
And then catches up with the rest of them and it's like, okay, I'm gonna help you guys out.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
find out until they all go to try and take down the collider and whatnot. But first, before I even say this, I wanna address something, and my friend addressed this, and he was pissed off about it. It's like it's freaking crazy how for a person to have spider powers, all you need is a week to gain control of your powers, and then you're good. And like in this movie, it was proof because all that Miles needed was exactly a few days, like to a week, and he was fully in control of his powers.
Yeah, I can see that. But then again, he did have a lot of health, so
But he did, and a lot of motivation too.
yeah, and also I mean he did. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about it, but like, yeah, a week seems like a really short time, but yeah. Anyway,
But
they
yeah, they go to Kingpin's party for at the first.
right.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's Kingpin is having a Spider-Man celebration. I'm just like, really,
Yeah.
really, Kingpin?
Yeah, you killed him, and you somehow is commemorating it.
And I'm like, really? Okay, all right, Kingpin. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, and they like, and every waiter at this gala basically are dressed with the Spider-Man masks, and they're like, it can't be that easy, can it? And
It's that
like,
easy.
It's that easy,
Right. And they just walk in and pretend to be waiters, and no one notices. That's crazy though.
Mm-hmm. And then Mary Jane walks up to Peter, who
Oh my
she,
god. He just breaks down. He literally
he
just
freaks out.
he
Yeah,
freaks the fuck out. And he's just like, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. And this, that, and third. Dude, this is not your Mary Jane.
yeah, this is not yours. Her Peter is dead.
Like,
Remember?
calm down. I know you still have to with Mary Jane, but this is not the Mary Jane you know.
Yeah, and Gwen tries, and she, luckily Gwen intervenes and is like, don't worry, ma'am, we'll get you your bread.
Right, and everything.
Yeah, and she's like, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Good, because we're not getting any bread.
Right.
So. Yeah.
So then, well, they go down into the facility where Kingpin is keeping the collider and he's getting ready to start it up and everything. So they're trying to sneak in and whatnot. Whole time they knew that they were already there. So they get ambushed by Doc Ock, Scorpion, and all the other henchmen around.
Yeah, they basically, like you said, they ambush them and they begin to have this big fight, and then it seems like Doc Ock is gonna finish off the
whole
older version
Spider-Man.
of Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then her arms, mechanical arms, begins to hit her, and she's like, "Who did that? Who did that?" And then Miles shows up.
Yeah, he turns visible again, and everyone's like, Miles, and then you just see him kicking the crap out of Doc Ock, and like in very good style, in a very nice style that he picked up all on his own, and like Hobo Spider-Man, it's just like, I am so proud of you.
Yeah,
I was proud of him too, because like that was just awesome.
yeah. I like the fact that he now basically is coming into his own. That he really has begun to find his stride. So yeah. So they begin to have this big fight. The Collider gets turned on, and basically, and they begin to more or less try to send everyone back, like Noir Spider-Man. Oh right, but basically throughout the fight, and eventually the Penny Parker, the
the robot got messed up,
yeah,
but not the spiders, so she can always make another one.
yeah, true enough. But it was a very deep emotional moment. Like it was almost like, yeah, it really was. And it was almost kind of like, did I just turn into a Studio Ghibli movie?
Right.
Like,
Also,
yeah.
I want to point out something for this specific Spider-Man character. Notice how every time she was in this mech, she always had snacks. This girl stayed with snacks. She had gummies, she had chips. I'm just like, I would love that. I don't know about you, Daniel, but I would love that.
Yeah, I would love that too. Like, I mean, to be piloting a Spider-Man mech suit and constantly always be having some sort of snack in there, like, that'd be great.
That would be great for me. I would love 24/7. I could be Spider-Man and I could just sit in there and chill.
Yeah, sitting there and just like, okay, I got my Doritos. I got yeah. Yeah, that'd be amazing. So yeah, I mean, Noir Spider-Man basically tries to comfort her, like, no, it's okay.
Right. And then we go into the scene with this version of Scorpion and then Spider-Ham. They're going at it, and
oh yeah, that was great. Like, he drops an anvil on him. It's like, really? Are you some sort of cartoon? And he's like, you got anything against cartoons?
Right, you got a problem with cartoons?
Yeah, and pulls out a mallet out of nowhere, and he's like, doing
classic Looney Tunes. Classic. I loved it. It was classic Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. I absolutely loved it. And begins to basically eventually send everyone back. Like, Spider-Man gets sent back to her dimension.
Right.
Noir Spider-Man gets sent back to his dimension, and
taking the cube. It's like, I'm taking this with me.
Yeah, I haven't understood it, but I will. And so of course Spider-Man gets also sent back, and he's like, well, that's all, folks.
Right. I'm like, really?
Did they just go full meta on this? Like,
yes, they did.
And they joke about it. Like, I mean, are they legally allowed to say that? Like, yeah. I mean, and that was kind of funny because I was questioning that too.
Right.
Like, yeah, E2B did, that's all, folks.
Right, because for one, this is a Sony movie, and they just did a Looney Tunes reference.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers.
A Warner Brothers reference, like, damn. And just when you think, Peter Parker is going to be sent back to his dimension, that's when the Kingpin comes in.
Oh yeah. And all that. But yeah, before that, Gwen gets put back in her dimension, and she like officially declared Miles as her friend, which I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, because she had basically previously in the film basically said that she had, ever since Peter died, she has basically stayed away from friends.
Yeah, they would always strive away from her.
Yeah, because they would kind of distract her.
Right.
So it was good. I mean, and she basically pointed out, well, I'm 15 months older than you, but still, it's still significant because they were constantly talking about, how time is relative. So, yeah. So yeah, it was a cool thing that they basically became friends. So and yeah, like but back to Peter. Basically, is almost ready to get sent back, and Kingpin shows up, and it's like, okay, I can't let him kill Spider-Man, and Miles is like, neither can I.
Right, neither can I. And then they just have this back and forth rebuttal, and I'm just like, Peter, you can't stay. Like
Yeah,
as much.
you're dying.
Yeah, you're literally dying. You gotta go back to your realm and fix. Well, and just literally fix you. You gotta go back to your universe.
Yeah, and then they basically. And that's when basically Miles tackles him and is basically holding him over the ray and or over the beam thing, and he's like, okay. And Peter's like, how do I know I won't mess up when I get back?
He's
and
like, you won't.
It's a leap of faith.
Right.
And then he just drops him. So Peter gets sent back, and Miles begins to have this big fight with the Kingpin in this constant disarray of things, with like with the subway, with the buildings and all of that, and it's really creative, it's really innovative, and I think it's also really cool. And I thought for a second that actually, because Kingpin eventually gets Miles underneath him and hits him, and you think, wow, did he? And I actually thought, okay, you can't be serious about this, that this is the way Miles goes out.
No.
I thought that for like maybe all of 5 seconds, and then you see his father in the background, and it's like, come on, Spider-Man, get up. And he's like, yeah, thank you.
No, you want to know the thing that was so doggone funny about his dad is like, while all this is happening, like all this universe breaking and stuff and everything, this mother trucker is in there, and he's on his freaking walkie-talkie saying, I need backup.
Yeah.
How is backup going to help this situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when the military is shooting at somebody and the bullet just bounces off of them. What do? Keep shooting.
Right, keep shooting. Like, really?
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not going to work. Just because you know you can call him for backup does not mean that it's going to help the situation.
Yeah.
This is stuff that's beyond the cops. This is beyond.
Yeah, this is beyond you. So. Yeah. So the Kingpin and Miles ends up fighting inside the subway, and that's when the Kingpin basically sees his dead wife and son.
Oh yeah, that part was just messed up.
Yeah.
And we just see Kingpin breaking cause he his whole reason for doing this was because of them, and he just sees them and he starts to break, and he tries to go to them, but they just disappear.
Yeah. And he gets so infuriated.
He gets so angry. So angry. And he was like, "You did this. You're the reason why all this is happening." I'm just like, that's not accurate, Kingpin. That's not how that works.
Yeah. You're the one who caused this.
Right, you're the one who caused all this. So like you were saying, back to Miles almost getting knocked killed and whatnot. He tries to get back up, and he asks Kingpin something. What was it?
So basically they continue to fight, and eventually they gets and that's when Miles basically gives him the shoulder tap and is like, hey. And you see this all this electricity flowing through him, and just basically shoots the Kingpin back several yards away, and it then whips him up, and it's like, Kingpin, push the green button for me to turn the machine off. And Kingpin gets launched into it and basically wrecks the whole thing.
Right, and then we just see like the whole thing getting sucked into the collider, and then Miles just hanging on for dear life to not get sucked in, along with it and everything, and then it just fades to white, and then we see I think Kingpin getting locked up and whatnot.
Because
Oh no! Kingpin didn't get locked up. His other subordinate gets putting a police guard locked up, and Miles is at the end of this building while he's behind his dad, far away from his dad, and his dad's trying to do his job and get everything underway, and then he finally gets a call from Miles.
Yeah. And basically it's like, yeah, I guess you're busy, so, but no, we can talk, I can talk. And so, it basically talk about, that Miles is like, yeah, I know Uncle Irvin is gone, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I heard everything you said and all of that, and then after they hang up, that's when Miles basically webs into his dad, and he immediately hugs him
with his spider costume still on, by the way, so it was super awkward for him. It was like, okay.
And he tries to mask his voice,
right?
Try to make it deeper, and it's like a good job.
Like, good job.
Yeah.
Good to be working with you. And I'm just like, oh my God, Miles. There's no need to do that. There's no need.
Please don't. Yeah. and then he ends the whole thing with, "Hey, I love you." Yeah. Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Miles.
Okay.
And then it just pans, to him retelling his story and everything, continuing his life.
But basically you also then I think it pans out to see, all of a sudden all these floodlights comes on, and you see the Kingpin essentially webbed up.
Yeah. That was the part that was pretty good. That was pretty cool. He like the light goes to like this little shadowy figure in the air, and then it's Kingpin all webbed up. With saying caught by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm just like, yes, Miles, yes, I love that. I love that a lot. And then we just see his dad just like literally say, oh wow.
Yeah, and that's when we basically cut to Miles basically kind of shoving off a bit, because he is just finally come into his own, and you see him trying to basically stand up from the side of the wall, and he slips a little bit, and he's like, I meant to do that. And then him basically telling sort of his origin story, that my name is Miles Morales, I was bit by spider, and for the past 2 days I've been the one and only Spider-Man.
And it ends off at that, but we get after credit scene, which I did not expect.
Me neither. I was just sitting in the theater, like, it was kind of, and the idea was going through my head, and then we see this red and blue hand with some kind of mechanical advice on it, and who is it? Miguel
O'Hara. Spider-Man 2099. I was like, holy crap! Yes.
Yeah, because I was constantly thinking about that, and yes, you got it. Yes, I did not expect that.
And then we got even more after that. Then he told this female computerized thing that he keeps with him. To go into this part of another universe, and then he goes into it, and oh my God,
it's the old Spider-Man cartoon from the 70s.
Yes, and I was like, holy shit! I was freaking out. I was literally freaking out.
Yeah, like, and he's trying to like, and he's like, I'm Spider-Man from the future. So, like, don't you point fingers at me?
It's
Hey,
like,
don't you don't point? And don't you point?
it's like I'm not
Yeah.
pointing my finger. I'm literally just
You,
saying you need to come with me.
yeah, yeah, and the cops on the side are like, who pointed first? Spider-Man did. Like, don't you
Spider-Man
point?
did. Well, they're both
Yeah,
Spider-Man, but
yeah. Okay, could you be more specific? Yeah. Oh,
oh my
and
god, I loved that so much.
yeah, me too. And also, I like him. Also, I think it's also a good thing that they remember not only to pay tribute to Stan Lee, but also
Oh
to Steve
yes,
Ditko.
yes,
But
yes,
also to Steve Ditko, who
yes,
did the original design for Spider-Man back in the 60s.
yes,
So,
yes. I actually loved that. I actually did love that.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, okay, um, after I want you to know, after that after credit scene went off, that I heard one guy saying, "Oh, this is getting an Oscar. This is getting an
I,
Oscar."
I don't know if it's gonna win, but I certainly would like to see a nomination for Best Animated Feature for this.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely, absolutely. It wholeheartedly deserves it. So
It better get a
and
nomination. Shit.
yeah, yeah, because it has a good story. It is funny. It is emotional.
It has a good animation.
Oh yeah, and the animation is beautiful in this.
Plus,
And
the soundtrack is actually really good.
yeah, absolutely. Like you hear Biggie, you hear all just so much good music in this. And yeah, Miles is a great kid. I like you said, like we said this before. I like his parents. I even like Uncle Aaron, even though he was kind of like basically a little bit on the wrong side of the tracks, but he was still very likable.
He
And
was still very likable. Still very
yeah,
likable.
yeah, absolutely.
I like the
So
fact that there were a whole bunch of different Spider-Man
yeah,
with their own different personalities into this. I liked the
yeah,
fact that the Kingpin had his own dilemma and reasoning, rather than just
yeah,
being bad and whatnot.
yeah. So yeah, this is yeah. I was kind of constantly thinking about this, like how would I rate this, and I'll give it a 10 out of 10 for this. I mean,
I
it's
agree.
absolutely yeah. It this wholeheartedly deserves it. Absolutely.
I agree. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the first time that you and I have agreed on an actual comic book movie. Well,
Yeah,
the
this
rate
year.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, and this is, I think this might be the first time in a long time where I think pretty much since I saw the first Spider-Man movie that I'm like, you know what, I want to see a sequel to this.
Yes, we have to. It has
Yeah.
to. It has to get a sequel. It has to.
Yeah, and for everybody, I mean, people have been making fun of Sony for so long, and I'm like, after this, people need to pipe down.
Right,
Like,
exactly. Like, people need to shut up. Because
Yeah.
you know what? Before it even came out, everybody was saying that this movie was gonna suck. It was gonna do bad. Shows
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's time to eat your plate of crow.
Yep.
That's all. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah. So I will. So I can wholeheartedly recommend this. And I've seen it already twice, and I'm probably gonna pre-order it as soon as I get the money
Oh
for it.
heck yeah! This
Yeah.
is immediately going on my DVD list, and it's going to stay with me. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like this movie made me laugh. It made me feel. It literally just made me feel.
Yeah. It makes you feel everything that you want. So yeah. So just go out and see it.
Yes,
Go
please.
out and see it. Go out and see it. Go out and buy it when it comes out on DVD.
Like if you okay, y'all, if y'all have not seen this movie yet, I encourage you to go see this movie. It is worth the time and energy to go see this movie.
Absolutely, and
It's worth it.
And I mentioned this to you before that I think it's better than Homecoming. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, we okay. Yeah, you know what? We can agree on this too. It is better than
yeah.
Homecoming. It is. It is.
Mm.
It is.
See, yeah. So I mean that I got nothing more to say than you need to see it.
Right.
That's all I gotta say.
That's all. That's all I can say too. This year was basically the year of the spider. The game
Yeah,
came out. This movie came out. Freaking. Uh. What else? What else? Oh yeah, Infinity War and everything. With the whole thing with
yeah. I mean,
Spider-Man.
yeah, because this year has been so good because we have had Black Panther, we have had Infinity War, Incredibles 2, Deadpool 2, and Venom. So yeah,
Like this 2018 has been the year of the spider, hands down.
absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
So, with that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what y'all think about this movie in the comment section down below. I don't care what y'all have to say about it. I want to hear from y'all. I would love to hear from y'all. As such, this has been The Ryo Sakurai and my good friend Daniel, and I
Yeah.
need to go relax my throat. I will see y'all next time. Peace.